Foster's in here. I don't know that he'll make a cameo, but hey, we can hope, right? I'm going to try and adjust that camera angle a little bit. Oh, he's in here on the hot pad, which makes him really distracting, but that's okay, because, you know, nothing quite like petting a cat, especially when they purr, although he's not purring right now. I don't think. Oh, no, he is. Just barely, though. You can feel it. You can't hear it. Okay. Well, it is the last day of 2024. Whatever your year was like, let's let that go and get ready for 2025. I'm sorry. I'm not quite like Jesse. I'm not going to stand here and say bring it. But, you know, it's coming whether we're ready or not, whether we want it to or not. So let's just adjust our attitude and get ready. So, and I think today's meditation is particularly appropriate because it's called the Mantle of Love. So I'm like, yeah, let's get into that. But before we do that, I always like to do the housekeeping first. And all that is just reminding you simply, we are Creative Life Spiritual Center. The website is creativelifespiritualcenter.org, creativelife.org. Creativelife.org. The constant contact email, which means nobody will see your email and nobody can get your email, is info@creativelife.org. That if you email that, tell them you want on the constant contact, you get one email a week. The hot links are hot. And it's a real person doing it. So it won't be more than one a week unless something unusual happens. That's it. So, hang on. Their words, they're coming. We are on several social medias. We don't monetize them. So we ask you to engage with our social media so that you can bump us in the algorithms. We don't monetize them because we don't want to deal with the ads. You don't want to deal with the ads. But, when you like, subscribe, follow, share, comment, then what that does is it bumps us in the algorithms because we think we have good things to share. So we appreciate when you engage with our social media. And we are Creative Life Spiritual Center or Creative Life Spark, depending on which social media you are talking about. And then we have also, and there goes the cat. I don't know what he heard, but he heard something that got his attention. I was about to say I'm the running Rev Ryan on the social media, so feel free to follow me. Although most of the content is the same because when I find good stuff, I share it in both places. I'm not the only one sharing content, but you know. So, all right. So let's talk about the meditations because apparently I just blinked out right there. We are in part 6 of the Science of Mind text. These are the meditations that were written by Ernest Holmes. He said that part 6 is called Meditations for Self-Help and Healing. His goal is that you repeat the meditations as many times as you need to get into the feeling. And that's the idea. That's one of the biggest tools that Science of Mind teaches. One of the biggest keys to Science of Mind is thought wrapped in feeling. That is where your power is. You want to know why your world looks the way it does. Look at the thoughts that you are wrapping in feelings and look at the feelings that you are wrapping in thoughts. And if you don't like what you see, there are people that can help you, and all of them, including us, but also therapy, you know. So I'm an advocate for therapy. I've benefited from it greatly many times in my life. So now he wrote them mostly in first person to facilitate you repeating it. And so what we are going to do is we're going to take 2 deep breaths, do the meditation, take 2 more deep breaths, do the meditation again, and then take 2 more deep breaths. Now, when I say deep breaths, in through the nose, out through the mouth, because science says that is the most calming for the brain and the nervous system. You can watch that work in real time because I talk a whole lot slower after I've taken those deep breaths. So, also, I want to remind you this book was published in 1927. Which means the language has drifted a little bit. If he uses a word, my example is control, because he's used it in a couple of the meditations. I don't like the way that word makes me feel. So when I see that word, I tend to change it to support. So whatever wherever you need to change words to get the feeling you are after, please feel free to change those words. I say that because like yesterday, he used a lot of he, him, and I tend to gender neutral, so I didn't use those words. I chose to use spirit instead, because it's a little weird, I'm just like, but spirit, there, presence, whatever. Because it makes it more inclusive to me, and because I don't believe in the big man. I don't believe in the big man with the long white beard in the sky. I don't, I think that spirit, God, good, whatever you want to call it, divine, is far more inclusive than that. And Ernest was writing in his time. So feel free to change any of the words that you need to get the feeling that you are after. That is the point of this. All right. I think that's everything I need you to know. Yeah, I think so. All right. I've already mentioned the title. It's called The Mantle of Love. So, and I also tell people, like, if you just want to skip straight to the meditation, just look for when I put my glasses on. Because that means I'm about to do the meditation. So now I'm going to encourage us to take that nice deep breath, which I just started, right? Like a cloak, God's love is wrapped around me. Like a warm garment, it shelters me from the storms of life. I feel and know that an almighty love envelops me in its close embrace. O love divine, my love, how wonderful thou art. I am open to receive thy great blessing. Love envelops me. Like a cloak, God's love wraps around me. Like a warm garment, it shelters me from the storms of life. I feel and know that an almighty love envelops me in its close embrace. O love divine, my love, how wonderful thou art. I am open to receive thy great blessing. Love envelops me. Now I'm going to point out to you one of the things that Science of Mind gets, New Thought, not necessarily just Science of Mind, but New Thought gets, is that we tend to look on the positive. We tend to try and be very positive. But that meditation right there took into account that life is messy. It said it protects me. It shelters me. It shelters me from the storms of life. It doesn't mean that the storms of life don't happen. It means that I don't have to go through them by myself. It means that there is something holding me. Yesterday, the title was The Everlasting Arms, which is from Emerson. And that's one of the things that we always want to remember. Because life is messy. I mean, this is the last day of 2024. And I don't know about you, but my 2024 was pretty messy. It was pretty messy. But I didn't go through it by myself. One, I know that the divine walked every single step with me. And two, I'm surrounded by a community, by friends, by family, by my spiritual community that were there with me and for me during the messiness. And I'm not saying there weren't good things too, because there were. There were. And that's part of what made them good, was that community, and knowing there's nowhere God is not. and being aware of that presence wrapped around me, sheltering me during those storms. What else can you ask for? So, all right. It's an acknowledgement. Ernest is acknowledging, look, life is messy. It's going to be messy sometimes. It's not messy all the time, thank goodness. But it is messy sometimes. And when it is messy, there's somewhere where we can turn. And if we can remember that, we can get through anything. All right, beloveds. That was a good one. That was a good one. I enjoyed that one. I'm going to make my little blue mark. So now, after I make my blue mark, I'm going to encourage you to have a great day, wondrous day, fantastic day, magical day, enchanted day, wonderful day, awesome day, an amazing day. And let's wrap this year up day. Let's take care of business day. Wow. Day. Take care of ourselves day. Reach out to somebody that you care about day. Have a kind word for everyone day. Don't worry about your resolutions day. A good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day. It may be the last day of the year, but simply have a day. You are enough, just as you are. You're a beloved expression of the divine. You are a masterpiece and a work in progress at your own pace at the same time. You are a brilliant light, a divine spark, spirit in motion, God in action, or as Reverend Jesse likes to call us, you are a godling. All right? Explore the truth of your being. Get to know who the divine knows you to be. I mean, the mantle of love, that is who the divine is. The divine only knows you as good. That's it. Because that's what the divine is. Good. And that's what the divine knows you as. And from there, anything is possible. Anything is possible. All right, beloveds. Reverend David should be on around 5 p.m. I will be back on tomorrow. I may try and do it a little bit before 9. Simply based on the fact of the Rose Parade is on tomorrow. And I love the Rose Parade. It is the only parade that I watch and I love it. So I will go in. I think it starts at 10, but one of the channels is showing some kind of countdown. So I may go watch the countdown too. But I will do it in the morning. So take care of yourself. Know that you are loved, and I will see you next year.